Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. We do apologize for that lack of audio. Here now is what we have in the bulletin. Residents of Springfield, Westmoreland are not coping with the death of 3 children and the injuring of another following a house fire. Jamaica could soon see its first Center of Excellence with special focus on early childhood education. And later in sports, the Reggae Girls suffered 2-0 defeat to South Korea in second friendly match. I'm Shane Masters, and here are the details. The community of Springfield, Westmoreland is still trying to come to terms with the tragic death of 3 brothers and the injuring of their sister from a house fire on Sunday night. But as we hear in this report from Herman Green, some governmental assistance will be provided to the family.
The 14-year-old girl who was severely burnt in the house fire in Springfield, Westmoreland, which claimed the lives of her 3 brothers, will have to seek treatment overseas. According to her father, who was speaking with the Education Minister, Favour Williams, and MP for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, on Monday, this is because of the severity of the burns. It's understood that she was transferred to a hospital in the corporate area on Monday and is to be flown overseas for treatment. The single father, who has been hailed by the community for his outstanding work in raising the children, is now clinging on to hope that his daughter will survive the ordeal. In the meantime, he has found a way to deal with the traumatic experience.
Happy we laugh, we do everything. Most time I remember, the 2 women come look for them. Which I don't want to see them. I don't want nobody show me no picture with their death.
Education Minister Favour Williams says help will be provided to the family through the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA.
As you know, they are our agency at the ministry. When disasters like this happen, they're there. They were here this morning to take information, to provide psychosocial support for the family, and even beyond that, financial support, in whatever way we can.
According to the Jamaica Fire Brigade, the official cause of the fire is still not known. However, the police believe that the fire may have been started by a candle which was lit due to a power outage in the community Sunday night. Herman Green, TVJ News.
Students in St. Thomas continue to feel the brunt of protest action by residents over the deplorable state of roads in the parish. For a second day, residents have blocked the roads in frustration. This time, old tires were set on fire to show their disgust with the contractors and their elected representatives. Our news team understands that the actions by the residents on Tuesday morning started as early as 5 o'clock, which led to a traffic bottleneck in the morning. Efforts to get an interview from motorists and protesters were futile. However, one commuter shared his experience with our news team.
Right now we are Montego Bay, me I go. And from after 8 me I walk from where Portmore, style up me I come from. When I walk, I them that the road. Then decided to now walk me road, police did it, but then decided to now walk me until some government or somebody come and talk to them before they walk me road. So right now them and the police them up lethal them there. Them up lethal right now I try to get the people on the road.
Taxi operators who returned to work on Monday afternoon after withdrawing their service and disrupting commute on the first day of the new school year are again threatening protest action, this time over bad roads in Linstead St. Catherine. On Monday, the taxi operators protested over the new traffic changes in the Linstead town centre, but the authorities promised to meet with them to address their concerns on Sunday. But as Krista Campbell reports, the authorities are appealing patience that the issue will also be dealt with.
This week, it's the new traffic changes. Next week, taxi operators say it will be the poor state of roads in several Linstead communities over which they will be protesting. Roads, specifically in York Street and Treadways, that residents say have been deteriorating for almost a decade.
The amount of money is spent on parts, to maintain a vehicle just to keep traversing the area. It's getting out of hand.
It's not a good decision. For say this morning is the first morning in school and you have to block the road, but something have to be done. They need the road to be bush just the same. You can see overgrown vegetable on the road, and kids have to actually walking out in the street.
I had to borrow money to fix my front end, $100,000, right? I'm still paying that loan, a short-term loan. And to be plying the route, especially when school's going to be open now, and to have front end damage again while I'm still paying for parts that were put on the car. It's unbearable.
The police, transport authority and municipal corporation have agreed to meet with the taxi operators on Sunday to hear their grouses and decide on solutions. Meanwhile, Councillor for the Treadways Division, Sydney Rose, is appealing for patience following a tour of roads in the area that Government Minister Everald Warmington promised to fix.
Persons would have seen it on the news, and our taxi operators and other users of the road would have seen us doing the tours, looking at all the different areas that need some urgent attention. So I am saying that the road needs repairs, urgent repairs too, but it is a process.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
The Fair Prospect High School in Portland is bursting at the seams due to a shortage of teachers coupled with inadequate infrastructure. As Sander Williams reports, despite the odds stacked against the institution, the school's leadership is happy to see the students back in the physical classrooms.
Dilapidated, termite-infested classrooms and incomplete buildings with no windows or electricity are among the list of issues that could impact students' learning experience at the Fair Prospect High School in Portland. But despite the challenges that lie ahead for the new academic year, principal of the school, Godfrey Flemings, is elated to see the students back for physical classes.
It is very good that we have the students back so that we can engage them not only in their academics but also in cultural and sporting activities, because they were lacking in those areas, and it's good that we have them back so that we can expose them now to the full curriculum and that they can now get involved again in the extracurricular activities.
He reasons that the school lost most of the students during the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the few students who were engaged in the online classes were not adapting well to the virtual space.
The challenges that they would have had would have been connectivity and the fact that most of them would not have laptops or tablets. And some of them would have been using their phones, but the phone don't belong to some of them. And so when the parents are not there, then they were not able to be online.
Prior to the resumption of face-to-face classes, the school was able to locate and re-engage most of its lost students under the government's Yard-to-Yard Find the Child initiative.
We found most of our students, and most of them would have been back at school.
Okay, what is the approximate figure?
The approximate figure that we are expecting is about 540 students to be on roll for this year.
However, having re-engaged these students, the school is now being impacted by teacher shortage.
We lost just 2 members of staff from resignation. We have 4 on leave. We have only been able to replace 1 so far. So we still have vacancies for teachers that we have not been able to replace as yet.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Over in St-Anne, there were no classes at the Cascade Primary and Infant School as the gates for a second day remained padlocked. Details in this report. We will not relent. The principal must go. That's the stance of parents of the Cascade Primary and Infant School in St-Anne. They are frustrated about the way in which the principal has been treating them, as well as students and teachers. On Monday, a group of placard-bearing parents were at the gate calling for the principal's resignation. They are hoping that a meeting can be scheduled at the soonest with the school chairman so that their grouses can be heard.
We're hoping that we can get a meeting with her tomorrow, if possible tomorrow, so we could write our opinion to her, and she would have a chance to say whatever she's saying. But the fact still remains that we do not want her back there.
TVJ News has been informed that representatives from the Education Minister's Region 3 office is at the institution, but the parents have declined to have a meeting with them.
Without the principal, the chair board, we won't have a meeting. We won't attend any. And if there's no teacher in the meeting too, we won't attend any.
They are calling for a written apology from the principal. But even if that's done,
all we know is that we don't want her back there. So whether she writes a letter of apology or not, she still has to go.
When we visited the school Tuesday morning, the only activity was a cutting of the lawns of the institution. And it's now time for the Business Minute. Here's Cody and Barrett.
In the world of business, Supreme Ventures has received global certification from the Gaming Laboratories International for its mobile gaming platform. SVL is now one of 2 companies in the region to be certified by the entity. The certification means Supreme Ventures can offer its mobile gaming platform as a service to other operators. The mobile gaming platform will allow SVL customers in various markets to place wagers on a number of games via a mobile app and web application. And news in oil, OPEC said Monday it would reduce oil production by 100,000 barrels per day next month as it braces for a global economic slowdown to impact demand. Just a month ago, the OPEC group agreed to increase production in September by about 0.1% of global demand after coming under intense pressure from the United States and other big oil consumers to do more to bring down energy prices and inflation. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And that's the midday news. I'm Shane Masters. Join us at 7 for primetime news. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.